Welcome to Shark Cap Table Pro. Make a deal and keep your arms and legs. This is one round of equity and convertible debt with multiple investors. Now this is really for the professionals, hence we called it Pro, and here's why. We've got actually up to 30 different founders and early investors. So here we've put a $1,000 investment, issued 2 million shares. We've done that twice for two founders. We've got an additional schedule, which is handy because more founders are likely to be had in companies that have had several rounds of financing. And here you could put everybody you ever thought that invested in you, including the most recent guys. Now let's go back to the Pro. And of course we have options. We have 5 layers of options. These are all management options. So here we got $100 paid for a 100,000 option package. So we've got the grand totals. Now we come down to Section B, which is the founder valuation. Those that have used this tool before or earlier ones will see the same sort of thing here. We've got skin in the game, beta test revenues, intellectual property. You can change the blue numbers. You can put in what you think is the valuation. This becomes a very good schedule with which to sit and negotiate and talk with your investors. Why do you think your company's worth $1 million? Well, it would be a good idea to put some details in here. But tonight we're just going to do it very simply. And of course, you can come down here and you'll see some interesting comments. So now let's actually do the Series A offering. Well, we've got a total of 2 investors, and we've dialed in $200,000. Now we've got a little spinner up here which allows you to multiply the 2 because these spinners only go to 30,000, so you'll have to play around with them to get something that reaches what you want. Same thing for Series A convertible debt. You have to remember to put in a debt discount. Convertible debt never gets the same number of shares because they have a call on equity, and they may even earn a little interest along the way. So they may get 15% fewer shares than the guys who put up the cash. Okay, let's move on to Section D, the revenue projections. Here's 7 years. I already put them in just to see what happens, and I'm suggesting that maybe we try a $4.6 million sale in year 5, which is basically 2.3 times earnings. That may be okay, but let's see what happens. Now here we have the Series A equity pricing dashboard. So now let's go through it line by line. Here's the 350. That's the Series A raise, and that comes from Section C. Now we've already put the option pool in at 20% with a nominal cost of $200. One thing, if there are 10 founders with equal shares, then option pool will be 5 to 10%. If one founder owns all the shares, then the option pool could be much higher at 20 to 40% to attract management talent. Now, the pink here indicates that the pre-money value, which is the next line, this is your founder valuation, and the pre-money value that the investors may believe is accurate might be 625. This is a strategy tool, so you kind of play around with these numbers to see what will happen. This number here actually calculates the price per share sold to the investors. So this drives an awful lot of valuation numbers. Here's that $4.6 million number. Here's the 5-year, and the post-money valuation is simply the addition of the pre-money and the amount of money that you raise. And here's a handy little chart to kind of graphically show who owns what. Founders, pre-money options, post-money option pool, and the Series A shares and convertibles. Now we go down to the fun part. This is a dashboard, and I doubt you'll ever see a capitalization table with a dashboard. This is really slick. So here's the investor valuation. Now this little box here does not change anything. This one does. Here's the option pool. And of course up here are the metrics. Here are the investment multiples. Down here we have the share investment. Now here's something we might play with. We might be able to increase the returns to the Series A investor by giving him a preferential. Let him have his money back first. You can see that really helps. And the same thing with the convertible debt. We could improve that a little bit by maybe giving him a preferential of maybe 1. Now, of course, when you do these preferentials, you're taking it out of the shorts of the founders and the option pool, etc. Now, there's another handy little thing that we have here, and that is the ability to turn voting stakes around. For example, we have two drop-downs. One drop-down here says founders and options vote or founders vote. Now, why in the world would you want to have options vote? Well, suppose you attracted a really top-notch person and you offered them options. I would like to turn those options into voting capabilities right away so that we have the ability to hear what this guy has to say. Same thing goes for the Series A. Now, here the Series A votes. Here you could do the Series A and the convertibles. Now, convertibles never vote until you get the conversion. But again, the owners of the converts might be guys that you want to listen to, even though they don't vote. You can turn them into voting. Another idea here is that the Series A and the converts don't vote. That is very similar to a preferred round, non-voting preferred round. So here the votes are all handled by the founders. Now, we can come in here and play the game. Anything you want to do, you can quickly see the effects on the investment multiples, the internal rates of return, and the voting shares. Now, as we move down into section G here, this gives you the offering narrative, and you can cut and paste that and put it into your own document. This discusses the Series A shares, the price, the number, converts, the price, the number. Then we have a discussion of preferentials. Here shows the investment multiple and the internal rate of return based upon a 1 preferential multiple and a 1 preferential multiple. We just come in here and crank these up, and you can see that as you increase, so do these. It's another way of looking at what goes on, and you can read about it because we've got this concatenated statement, and again, you can cut and paste that. Now, from here on down, we have a series of capitalization tables. Here is the table entitled Investment Returns Summary. And here we're going to talk about the founder common, the options, the Series A convertible debt, the combination of those two, and the grand totals. You can see the investments. You can see the shares issued. You can see the share price. You can see the post-money, voting control, the exit value, the I multiple, and of course, the 5-year internal rate of return. And by the way, anytime you change any of these numbers to, let's say, 4, bingo, you've got a 4-year exit sale, and you can see what happens when you go to 3. Well, the internal rates of return get a lot bigger, just like if you go to year 7, they get a lot smaller. So this is really a terrific tool to sit there and dream and play around and negotiate. You can answer anything quickly in this tool. Now, we just talked about the investment return summary. Here we go down to a capitalization summary with voting shares. And this particular column here, and again, I'm going to move these little guys off the side so they don't interfere. Here we could show which ones are actually voting, and here we show the preferentials. So this is a good capitalization table. And then finally, we have a summary of founder and pre-money exit returns. So here we have the first 5 founders. Founders 6 through 30, of course, are on this other table, more founders. They can see what they're going to get. And we have, again, the options. So shows the investment, the shares issued, the share price, the pre-money ownership, the post-money ownership, the exit value, and, of course, the I multiple. And it's too difficult to work out the internal rates of return because we don't know exactly when these people put their investments in. So we just do the I multiple. Now, having said all of this, finally, we have an executive summary, which allows you to put in a summary of the opportunity. You've got to write that, and then here's that offering. That comes in from the model. And here's the investment summary in a table form. Then we have the return and the discussion of the returns in another table. And again, you can print this out. Now, the Shark Cap Table Pro really didn't take as much time because it is a little simpler to use, but it's a more powerful tool in that you've got this wonderful dashboard and you can play the game and see exactly what goes on. So don't be afraid to mess around and see what happens to internal rates of return and investment multiples when you spin these dials. You might even want more money, or you might even want less money. And you can see this thing moving. That's why we put this all together right here so you can see what's happening. This is a great tool. It also is part of the package that we're selling, where you get fast, light, and pro all in one package. This blows away the competition. You are now a fantastic deal maker. And by the way, don't forget, we've got lots of little pieces of help. Don't forget, it's right over here, so you can come in here and just click on things and you can learn about them. And there it is. Have fun. If you get into trouble, give us a shout on the email. We'll see if we can't straighten you out. This is pretty easy. Look around, mouse around, and have fun. Let us know how you're doing. Thanks very much.